laptop giveaway yesterday. They had it as their ringer, ZK. You know when you're giving an interview and you're on air and you hear the phone ringing and it's a song? So, yeah, and that is off Yesh Tikva, Benny's brand new album. Speaking of smash hits and new albums, with me via telephone should be Hillel Kapnick of Hillel Caps Productions. Hillel, welcome to the program.
Thanks so much, Yossi. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's a pleasure. We always like having new talent and people who have great new ideas. And I think for somebody to release the first ever Jewish music ebook entitled 10 Ways to Help You Make It in the Jewish Music World is definitely an occasion to have somebody on the show.
Sounds good to me.
So, Hillel, I have a great question for you.
Go for it.
You're not like this superstar producer who's produced Schweckies. You're not a guy who's been around for 30 years. I mean, what makes somebody who's still, I would say, relatively new to the Jewish music scene want to put out an ebook about making it in the Jewish scene?
That is a great question. That's a really good question. Well, my idea in releasing this ebook in the first place, especially because I don't consider myself to have made it necessarily to go according to the title of the ebook in the Jewish music world, I have found that in the short time that I've been here, there have been a number of things that I've been able to, a number of ideas I've been able to collect along the way that have been very helpful for me. And I think it'll be very helpful for those people that are going to be coming after me. I definitely think the Jewish music industry is not necessarily one of the easiest to break into, and there are always people, asking musicians, asking producers, what can I do to get out there? And I just wanted to share some of those tips that helped me to get even to the smaller place that I am, and hopefully they'll continue to help me to bigger and better places that they should be able to help other people as well.
I think it's a really good thing. And look, if everybody had somebody giving them advice along their way in whatever their endeavors are, it would probably make everybody's job easier. Imagine having somebody there to guide you and help you. So, I was told that you sent this ebook to several people to read in the business. What was the response that you got from these people?
So I got some really great responses back from a number of people that previewed this ebook before the actual release, including yourself, Shirley Meyer of Designs by Shirley, Nochi Krohn, Aryeh Kunstler, Simcha Leiner, composer Eli Melech Bloomstein. All of them seemed to think that it was a very good idea, especially for beginners to have something to refer to when looking for a way to go about getting into the Jewish music business. And they all seem to have liked it enough to give their referrals in the beginning of the ebook. So I guess that's a plus.
I definitely think it's a plus. Let's talk about yourself for a second. You've released 2 singles to date. Well, 2 singles of yourself, and then a third one you were involved in the production, correct?
Well, 2 singles I've released so far, which was the Mina Meitzar single and Hadron. Right. The third one is actually on its way out. It's in the finishing stages. It was actually a song that was originally produced by myself for the Chafetz Chaim Heritage Foundation, and that's hopefully going to be out fairly soon. And I'm working on another single now with a different artist, as well as a follow-up album to that single, which is a separate project from the stuff I'm working on for myself.
Well, I keep getting asked that on Twitter and whatnot. When is Hillel Kapnick's album coming out? We've been friends with him on Twitter. We've been talking to him for so long. We hear him talking about new stuff and exciting meetings and producers and whatnot. When are they going to actually get a Hillel Kapnick album?
So the general rule is there's always more exciting meetings and hit compositions than a lot of times there is actual results. Thank God there have been many exciting meetings, and there have been many hit compositions that will hopefully be in the works at some point or another. My own album is in the very, very beginning stages. As far as right now, I've been working on picking songs a little bit and figuring out exactly which section, I guess you could say, of Jewish music the album's going to be catering to. and I'm definitely excited for when it'll finally come out. But for right now, it's really just in the beginning stages, and I'm going to be hopefully focusing on singles along the way so that everyone will have something to listen to in the meantime.
So let's go back a second. Minimates was one of your own compositions.
It wasn't. It
What
was.
was it?
I going basically following through with one of my general thought processes. I find that there are a lot of people out there who are very talented, whether composers or musicians or singers, that it's possible no one will ever hear about, just because they didn't know someone who could get them somewhere. And I've been searching a lot for those kind of guys, to sort of expose them to the spotlight a little bit. And Mina Meitzar and Hadron were both composed by, I guess, what you might call a no-name composer, not in a derogatory way, of course, but
No, we call them
in the way that no one,
up,
right, they
up,
didn't,
up and coming or top secret. Yeah.
right, there you go. And the composer for Hadron actually just sold another song or two, so it seems to be working.
And not just to anybody. He sold his song to Yehuda.
That's right. How about that?
Yeah. Yeah, and I know he's very excited. So we have to give a shout out to Shui Kurtz, who already Facebooked saw your message. He's like, I got to give a shout out to him. Jewish Music Updates here on Twitter says he wants to know more about your career. You know, how you got started in music. Did you play as a child? What instruments you play and stuff like that.
So I started off in about high school-ish. My uncle, who runs an orchestra in the Five Towns, Gary Wallen, got me my first guitar. When I was in yeshiva, I started a small band with a couple other guys to play yeshiva masibas and things along those lines. Whenever I got bored of playing guitar, I would mess around on the drummer's drum set and the keyboard player's keyboard. Turns out the messing around on the keyboard blossomed into a one-man band business, which thank God has been very successful recently. And from there, I had thought a while back about releasing a song, and I decided that if I was going to do it, I wanted to go all the way and learn how to do it myself, so that I wouldn't have to rely on other people in order to release things. And that's what I've been doing so far. There's been a lot of time and effort put into it. Money definitely has been put into it too, but definitely not as much as time and effort have.
Right.
And in general, that's really what it's all about. No one got anywhere by just, spending a couple $1,000s and sitting back.
No, definitely.
You definitely have to put the effort in, and sometimes it takes time, and you have to really see it through.
Shimon R. says he wants to know if you consider yourself a multi-talented person, and in which part of your talent do you feel you exceed the most?
That's a good question. I'm not sure if I consider myself a multi-talented person. I can only consider myself what others consider me to be. I don't want to be a Balgaiva. Thank God the producing aspect of what I've been doing has been going fairly well. As far as putting out my own things and hopefully working on this new single and a new album for a different singer. I definitely do compose a number of songs, which are all on the market now. There definitely have been some interest showed in them. We're hoping to close the deal on a few at some point soon. Of course, if anyone's interested in compositions, they can feel free to get a hold of me. And the one-man band business is it's really a great way to get out there and play live to actual people instead of just pre-recording something and then, let's say, fixing it up after the fact and then releasing that. It gives it's more of a live feel where people can really hear what you sound like.
And you probably get better feedback on a live gig.
Yeah, it's everyone's had their jobs where the crowd just isn't Labadick and there's only so much you can do. But there's nothing like finishing up a live job, whether it's singing with an orchestra or doing the one-man band thing, where people come over to you afterwards and they're tired out from dancing so much and they've had such a great time. There's nothing like that.
I hear. I got a tweet here from Epis Bacher. He wants to know, he says, you often tweet about studio sessions. Who does he work with, and what are his projects he's working on now?
So, as far as, was the question where I work?
I think that's what the question was. I know you have a studio in your house, but I mean,
Right. So I mean,
I've
so
also
I have
seen
a
I've also seen several times that you work with Ari Kunstler, so I'm assuming maybe you go to his studio.
right. So I've done some stuff in my own project studio, like you mentioned. I've done some stuff at R.A. Kunstler's Raw Recording in Cedarhurst. I've recently done some work at Nochi Krohn Studio, which is currently in Muncie,
Yeah.
and I'm actually going next week to two vocal sessions for a new singer for a single that's going to be recorded by Yossi Blumenberg's Fountain Music Studio.
Yeah, he's the one that did the Zmiris Choir album.
Right. So luckily there are a couple that are fairly local.
Hmm.
But at least whenever I have to go to Cedarhurst, Ari is a great guy to work with, so it's worth the drive.
Right. Right.
And as far as what projects I'm working on, I think I've probably mentioned it a few times. I'm definitely working on my own singles. I actually just picked the what is it? What is it going to be? The fourth single, even though the third hasn't even been released yet. I just picked which song that's going to be,
And
and I'm currently
the third is, I believe, a song you're releasing in a couple of days. It's from the it was affiliated with the Chavetz Chaim Heritage Foundation.
yeah, that's it. And so hopefully the fourth one is on deck to that one. And on the side of that, there's a new singer whose name we haven't released just yet, who is currently working on a single that's going to be produced by myself, as well as hopefully a follow-up album, which is already in the works. All the songs have been picked, and it's hopefully going to start to be arranged within a week or two.
Oh, we're excited. Hillel, so this ebook, it's free, correct?
It's 100% free, almost 100% free. It costs a subscribership to the Hillel Caps website, but that's not that much of a price. I don't plan on spamming people.
Right. Oh, look at that. It says here you're going to be on the Z Report today. So Hillel's ebook and his previous two singles, as well as the Shalom Bonder Ancient Lullaby, is available for free download on HillelCaps.com. If you want to get in touch with him to book him or to have questions or for songs, HillelCaps.com, I guess, is the way, Hillel, right?
That's it, or HillelCaps at gmail.com, and of course there's Facebook, Twitter. I'm a big fan of social media when it comes to these things.
Any questions for Hillel? Facebook him or Twitter him. I can validate that he always answers and gets back to people as quickly as possible. Hillel, have a great week. We're looking forward.